Modern engines run hotter, tighter, and longer than anything your parents drove. Tolerances are razor thin, oil runs hotter, and the factory tells you extended intervals are totally fine. Here is the thing. A lot of oil filters getting slapped on at quick lube chains are stuck in 1985. They let fine grit circulate while your 2026 engine quietly wears out. On one side, you have bargain cans that catch rocks and let sand skate through. On the other, a small group of filters engineered like life support systems with synthetic media, serious dirt capacity, and housings that do not fold the first time you floor it. And get this, the price gap is usually less than your snack run at the gas station. The real kicker is that nobody at the dealership is walking you through micron ratings or dirt-holding charts. Bottom line, smart drivers are quietly choosing filters that actually keep grit out of their engines, not whatever came on the bulk pallet. Stick around because the last brand on this list has a cult following with engineers and high-mileage drivers for a very good reason. Brand number 1, Mobil Extended Performance. Mobil 1 Extended Performance used to look like a matching accessory for Mobil 1 oil. Now, it is a serious, long-life synthetic media filter built for extended intervals, not a generic white can with a sticker. It is meant to sit on your engine for a long time without tapping out. The reinforced synthetic media is designed to capture a huge percentage of particles while still flowing well. It is tested to protect for up to roughly 15,000 miles or about 1 year with synthetic oil, with over 99% efficiency on particles above roughly 30 microns, and the canister is rated for around 9 times normal system pressure. Translation: it is built for extended oil change claims, not to fold and send everything through bypass every cold start. If you are already paying for synthetic and stretching intervals, the filter becomes the weak link. Run premium oil through a bargain filter, and you are paying top dollar for second-rate protection. Bottom line, if you live on the highway or just hate frequent oil changes, this is how you actually match your oil and filtration. Think of it as business-class security for your engine, not a mall cop with a plastic badge. But if you think Mobil 1 is where extended protection ends, wait until you see what Fram Ultra Synthetic brings to the fight. Brand number 2, Fram Ultra Synthetic. Fram spent years as the punchline for cheap orange cans. Ultra Synthetic is their answer to everyone who cut those cans open and laughed. It is not a dressed-up budget filter, it is their shot at a real, gold standard product. Inside, dual-layer synthetic media targets the particle sizes that actually chew on bearings. Fram markets Ultra Synthetic for up to about 20,000 miles on synthetic oil and quotes over 99% efficiency above roughly 20 microns. Translation: this is not for the 3-month, 3,000-mile crowd. It is for people who want longer intervals without gambling. Strong internal construction and multipass test data are how Fram sells this to skeptics who remember the old jokes. Meanwhile, quick lube shops still love the cheap stuff because the margin is better. You are not supposed to see this filter unless you ask. Bottom line, if you value your time and your engine, Ultra Synthetic actually backs up the 20,000-mile talk. Think of it as the nightclub bouncer at the 20-micron door, turning away the grit that wants to party in your crankcase. But if you think Fram finally grew up, wait until you see how Wix XP caters to people who tow and abuse their engines. Brand number 3, Wix XP, earned its reputation in fleet bays and work trucks, not in Instagram ads. The regular Wix is a solid default. XP is the severe duty version aimed at synthetic oil and hard use. It is not chasing the tiniest micron number, it is chasing survival in ugly conditions. Open one and you see synthetic or synthetic blend media, metal end caps, and a strong center tube. The goal is to trap a lot of dirt, survive heat and pressure, and keep flowing when you're towing, climbing, or idling in brutal traffic with the air conditioning on full blast. Translation: instead of chasing paper specs, XP is built not to collapse, tear, or plug when life gets rough. If you tow, run a work truck, or live where oil spends all day near its limit, that trade-off matters. You might give up some bragging rights on fine micron efficiency, but you get a filter that stays in the fight. Bottom line, Wix XP is the work boot of oil filters. Not pretty, not delicate, just what you wear when you know you will be in the mud. But if that kind of durability impresses you, wait until you see how the boutique names turn filtration into a religion. Brand number 4, Royal Purple Filters. Royal Purple made its name with bright purple synthetic oil and big performance claims, so a premium filter was inevitable. Under the marketing, the filter is built for people who treat their engine like an asset, not an appliance. Royal Purple filters typically use microglass synthetic media designed to grab very small particles with high efficiency. That puts them squarely in the conversation for high performance and high value engines where tiny wear differences matter. Translation: this is for the car you actually care about, not the disposable beater. The corporate play is obvious. If you buy expensive oil, you are ripe for an expensive filter that unlocks its potential. At least here, the rugged housing and fine media back up the story instead of contradicting it. The downside is simple: price. Bottom line, royal purple filters are hazmat suits for your oil system. For some builds, that paranoia is smart. For commuter duty, it can feel like race team. Money for grocery run problems. But if you think boutique brands are the only serious option, wait until you look at the boring factory filters quietly racking up insane mileages. Brand number 5, factory filters from Toyota. And Honda factory filters from brands like Toyota and Honda do not scream from end caps. They just keep engines alive. The same engineers who set bearing clearances and oil pump specs signed off on these filters, and they care a lot more about warranty claims than about marketing buzzwords. Cut open a genuine factory filter and you usually see consistent media, correct bypass settings, and respectable construction. No gimmicks, no wild mileage promises, just a part built around a specific engine's needs. Translation: the automaker cannot afford to cheap out on the one piece that keeps grit away from moving metal during the warranty window. If you drive a mainstream Japanese car and your only real goal is to reach 200,000 miles without drama, this is the most boring smart move you can make. You give up extreme interval marketing and big micron claims, but you get predictable, tested performance on the engine it was built for. Bottom line, a good factory filter is the boring accountant of engine protection. Never exciting, always there, quietly keeping the books balanced. Are you actually seeing a difference in how your engines look, sound, or last based on oil filter choice? Or does it all feel like marketing until something fails? Let me know what you have seen in your own cars, especially if you have cut filters open or torn down engines after big mileage. Brand number 6, Amsoil EA filters. Amsoil built its brand on extended drain synthetic oil, so its filters could not be an afterthought. If you promise 15,000 or even 25,000 miles between changes, the filter cannot be the weak link. Their EA and EA15K filters are guaranteed for up to roughly 15,000 miles, or about 1 year in normal. Service and EAO filters are marketed for up to around 25,000 miles, or about 1 year with their synthetic oil. They quote efficiency around 98.7% at roughly 15 microns under standardized lab testing. Translation: fine synthetic media, big dirt capacity, and serious construction, built to stay in the fight long after normal filters tap out. If you actually use that capability, sending oil samples to a lab and stretching intervals based on numbers, this filter makes sense. If you change oil early out of habit, you are paying for an ultra-marathon runner to jog around the block. Bottom line, Amsoil filters are for people who treat maintenance like a strategy, not a chore. But if you think only long-drain obsessives care, wait until you see how K&N sells strength and flow to the throttle-happy crowd. Brand number 7, K&N Performance Filters. K&N is built on performance branding. People know them for reusable air filters and race imagery, so their oil filters lean into that role. These are aimed at engines that see high RPM, hard use, and frequent wrenching. A K&N performance filter typically has a thick canister, strong construction, and on many models, a welded nut on the end for wrench removal. Inside, synthetic or synthetic blend media aims to balance good flow with solid filtration. Translation: they are built to keep oil moving under stress while still catching the grit that matters. On a track car or a hard-driven street car, pressure drop and burst strength are not theory. They are the difference between peace of mind and a blown session. For a daily commuter, you may never use that headroom. For a car that lives in the top half of the tachometer, it starts to make sense. Bottom line, K&N is the gym rat of oil filters. Strong, overbuilt, and happiest under heavy loads, even if it is more than you need for a calm commute. But if you think performance branding is the final word, wait until you see the quiet professional European engineers trust without saying much. Brand number 8, Mann filters. Mann is everywhere and invisible at the same time. You do not see giant end caps in big box stores, but if you drive a German car, there is a good chance a Mann filter has already lived on your engine. This brand leans on engineering and OEM relationships, not loud marketing. Mann filters are often factory or factory equivalent on European cars, built around the longish intervals and high revving nature of those engines. Media, bypass settings, and overall construction are tuned to what the engine designers expect. Translation: you are not guessing whether some universal filter kind of fits. You are using the pattern part the platform was built around. If you drive something European and care about long-term health more than hype, that matters. You may not get bold micron numbers on the box, but you see a track record of engines going long distances without filtration drama. Bottom line, Mann is the quiet professional in the meeting. While everyone else argues over buzzwords, this is the one actually doing the work. The automotive world is split between people who treat oil filters as throwaway details and people who know that little can is the last line of defense between grit and metal. Here is the thing. Your engine does not care about brand hype. It cares about how much abrasive junk gets between its moving parts. Every time you grab the absolute cheapest filter, you are betting that the damage will not show up until after you sell the car. The difference between a filter that barely passes and a filter that actually protects is often a few extra notes in your wallet. You're not choosing between a used hatchback and a new luxury sedan. You are choosing between 2 cans of metal that cost less than a tank of fuel. Bottom line, if you want to avoid the slow, invisible hemorrhaging of your engine's health, stop treating the filter like a rounding error. Match it to your oil, your engine, and how you really drive. If you run long intervals, buy filtration built for that. If you tow, buy something that can handle heat and load. If you want boring reliability, there is a factory-grade option with your name on it. If this video saves you from one costly mistake with a cheap, compromised filter, that is money staying in your pocket instead of your mechanics. Hit subscribe if you want the truth about 2026 car ownership, from big industry games all the way down to the tiny can, deciding whether your engine lives or dies.